That was what the archives of the Galactic Union claimed. Planet Arender was catalogued as biologically active but intellectually dormant. Its endless oceans of silver-bark trees stretching across continents like frozen waves beneath a pale blue. Sun, no cities, no machines, no transmissions, until the humans arrived. The exploration vessel. Horizon drifted into low orbit with careful precision. Scanning the emerald world below, Commander Elias stood at the observation deck, hands clasped behind his back as he watched the forest shimmer. There was something unusual about the trees. They moved not with wind, not with gravity, but with intentional tenant. Mira adjusted the sensor. Air energy readings are fluctuating across the entire equatorial belt. She said quietly, "That is not weather." Elias nodded. "Prepare a landing, Timors." Later, a small shuttle descended into a clearing where the trees parted before it touched the ground. Crew exchanged uneasy glances. The trees had moved aside. They stepped out into air rich with oxygen and laced with a faint harmonic vibration. It sounded like distant singing. Dar. Rowan knelt and pressed a palm against the bark of the nearest tree. Surface felt warm, alive in a way that went beyond biology. The harmonic sound deepened. The wind stopped. Then the forest spoke, not in sound but in thought. Pressure entered their minds. Gentle yet vast, a pattern forming. Yalius staggered slightly. Images flooded his awareness. Stars, darkness, fire in the sky, metal ships burning. Mira gasped. "Is communicating." The crew activated neural translators built for first contact scenarios. The device pulsed. Language structures began forming from the incoming neural patterns. Then a voice emerged through their units, broken, layered, but unmistakably. "You carry the shape of memory." Silence gripped the clearing. Elias stepped forward. "We are explorers. From Earths we come in peace." The forest shimmered. Leaves vibrated in unison. Worth the word echoed back with growing clarity. Usurth pause. "Long ago, Pantha." Crew exchanged stunned looks. Rowan whispered it. Nozilius steadied his voice. "What happened long ago?" The trees shifted, their branches angling toward the sky. Images poured into the translators. A fleet descending, ships of unfamiliar design, weapons scorching the planet, the forest burning. But the invaders were not human. They were something older, harsher, an empire long erased. From galactic history, the Union archives mentioned a species known for sterilizing living worlds. No survivors had ever been recorded until now. They came the forest, transmitted, they consumed, they silenced. Then something changed. Another image formed. A smaller fleet arriving, desperate, damaged human insignia glowing faintly. The crew froze. Was an image from Earth's early expansion. A lost colony fleet. Historical records stated it vanished during the first wave of deep space travel. They were presumed destroyed. The forest continued. Her kind fell from the sky, burning, dying. But they fought. The image sharpened. Human ships crashing into the invader fleet in sacrificial maneuvers. Colonists descending with primitive weapons, defending a world they did not know. Spreading trees they had never seen. Elias felt his throat tighten. "They did not win," the forest said, "but they broke the silence. They gave us time." The trees had retreated underground, weaving roots into a planetary network, hiding their consciousness beneath the surface until the invaders left. The humans who survived had perished slowly, their technology dismantled, their knowledge absorbed by the forest through bioelectric integration. "We learned your patterns," the forest said. "We learned your sound. That is why we speak." Mira wiped her eyes. "You remembered them?" "Yes, we remember." Across the clearing, the trees began to resonate in harmonic waves. The sound shifted. It became music, not alien human. Fragments of an old Earth lullaby filtered through the translators. A song dating back centuries. Elias felt a surge of emotion. "They carried it for 12,000 years." Rowan whispered. "You kept their memory alive." "Memory is survival," the forest replied. "Without memory, silence returns." Orbiting above the horizon received sudden energy spikes. Union surveillance probes had detected the planet's awakening. A transmission from Galactic Command crackled through. "Commander Elias, you are ordered to stand down. Arender is to be classified in Contande. Conscious planetary organism falls under restricted doctrine. No cultural contamination permitted." Delea stared at the trees, at the living archive of forgotten human sacrifice. "If the Union imposed containment, The forest would be isolated, studied, perhaps dismantled, the memory would be lost. Again he made a decision: transmit full data package to Earth Open. Channel Public. Myra hesitated only a moment before complying. The story of the lost colony fleet streamed across human networks, images of burning skies, of sacrifice, of trees singing lullabies back on Earth. The response was immediate. Humanity had always been divided: nations, corporations, factions. But this was different. This was proof that even in failure, they had changed the universe within hours. Civilian ships began altering course. Explorers, freighters, independent pilots, not armed fleets, but witnesses. The Union protest threatened sanctions, yet the footage spread faster than any political decree. Looked up as streaks of light appeared in the sky, human vessels dropping from warp one by one. They did not come to conquer, they came to listen. The forest felt their presence, its voice deepened. Return, Yesalius said softly. We came back. The clearing expanded as thousands of trees shifted aside, forming a vast living amphitheater. Ships landed carefully. People stepped onto alien soil. Children among them. The forest projected images into every open mind. The story of the fallen fleet, their courage, their fear, their final stand. No monument of stone could have held such memory, but roots and leaves. Hadad child approached Elias. Looking up at the towering trees, they are friends. Elias smiled faintly. They have always been. The Galactic Union faced an impossible reality. A sentient world had bonded with humanity through shared sacrifice, and Terran interference would mean open conflict with a species that had just demonstrated galaxy-wide unity. Reluctantly, restrictions were lifted. Rinder was recognized as a sovereign conscious entity, and as an ally of Earth. Years past, human settlements were built carefully along the coasts, never cutting into the ancient forest. Technology blended with biologic communication between species became seamless. The trees developed new harmonics, human languages woven into their planetary song. In return, humans planted forests on dying worlds across the galaxy, using knowledge learned from Arender to heal ecosystems once thought beyond saving. The legend spread: when humans fall, they do not vanish, they echo. One evening, Elias stood once more in the original clearing. Older now, the trees hummed gently. We feared silence, the forest said, but you are loud. Elias laughed quietly. Yea, we are. The branches swayed. You break darkness, you fracture endings, you speak even when ashes remain. He looked up at the canopy glowing beneath twin moons. We learned that from youth. Harmonic resonance intensified. Not overwhelming, but warm together. The forest said we are more than memory. Above them, stars shimmered not as distant lights, but as places waiting to be changed. Human ships moved among them, carrying seeds, carrying stories, carrying defiance. And on a once silent world, trees spoke in human voices, not because they were conquered, not because they were commanded, but because long ago, when fire fell from the sky, humans chose to stand for something that was not their own, and the universe had listened.